Let me tell you something I figured out the hard way. Nothing in this life that actually matters comes without risk. Nothing. I love what Nelson Mandela said, that there is no passion in playing small, in accepting a version of your life that is smaller than what you're actually built for. And I believe that completely. No, I know. You've been sitting in classrooms, filling out applications, picking majors, stressing about careers, and somewhere along the way, somebody, maybe your parents, maybe your uncle, maybe somebody at a family dinner, they looked at you and said, make sure you have a backup plan, always have something to fall back on. Right? You heard this. But here is the thing. I never understood that advice. Fall back on what? If I'm going to fall. And believe me, I fell many times. I don't want to fall backwards into something safe and comfortable. I want to fall forward. Because at least when you fall forward, you can see where you're heading. You can see what is coming. Falling backwards. You hit the ground and you don't even know what happened to you without consistency. Nothing gets finished. No one thing. So figure out what genuinely burns inside you. Then go after it. Take the chance. Don't be afraid to look stupid. Don't be afraid to be wrong. You know the old IQ puzzle. 9 dots on a page. And you have to connect all of them using only 5 lines without lifting your pencil. Go ahead and try it in your head right now. Most people fail immediately. You know why? Because they keep trying to solve it by staying inside the dots. But the only way to do it, the only way is to extend your lines beyond the boundary, outside the box entirely. That is not just a puzzle, that is life. Don't be afraid to think outside the lines that other people drew for you. Don't be afraid to dream so big that people think you are crazy. But here is where I have to be honest with you, because big dreams alone are dangerous. Dreams without goals are just very expensive fantasies. You need both. You need the dream that gets you excited at 2 a.m. and you need the daily discipline that gets you out of bed at 6 a.m. Reggie Jackson. You know what they call him? One of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. Home run legend. But Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times. The most strikeouts in the history of the sport. But when you ask people about Reggie Jackson, nobody talks about the strikeouts. They remember the home runs. They remember the moments he connected. Fall forward. Thomas Edison. This man ran 1,000 failed experiments before he created the light bulb. 1,000. I didn't know that for a long time. Most people don't know that because the story we remember is the light bulb. Not the 1,000 times the lab went dark. Every single one of those failed experiments was not a waste of time. Every single one was one step closer to changing how human beings live on this planet. Fall forward. No, I want to talk to you about failure in a way that might make some of you uncomfortable. Because you need to hear this, especially today, on a day that is supposed to be about celebration and achievement. You will fail. I am not guessing. I am not being dramatic. I am telling you as a fact. At some point in your life, you will fail at something significant. You will lose something you worked hard for. You will embarrass yourself in front of people. You will be bad at something, genuinely, undeniably bad. There's zero doubt about this. I understand that might not sound like what you expected to hear on a day like this. Most speeches talk about how great you are and how bright the future is. And yes, you are great, and yes, the future is bright. But I respect you too much to pretend that the road is flat and easy. So here is what I am asking you to do instead. Embrace it. Don't run from the possibility of failure. Run toward what you want. Knowing failure is part of the journey and accept it before it even arrives. Because if you spend your whole life trying to avoid falling, you will also spend your whole life avoiding the things worth reaching for. Let me tell you something personal. Early in my own journey, and I have shared this many times because I think it matters. I faced rejection that most people would have used as a reason to quit. I applied to KFC when they opened in my city. 24 people applied. 23 got the job. I was the one they said no to. I applied to Harvard University 10 times. 10 times they rejected me. I tried to get a job as a police officer. 5 people applied. 4 were accepted. I was rejected again. You know what I didn't do? I didn't quit. I didn't fall back onto excuses or bitterness. I kept preparing. I kept showing up. I kept believing that preparation and persistence would eventually meet opportunity. There is an old saying, I love this one. You hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later, you're going to get a haircut. You stay in the game, you keep your skills sharp, you remain ready, and when your moment comes, you will be prepared to receive it. And the moment did come for me. It came in a way I could not have scripted. Years after the rejections, after the embarrassments, after the failures, the opportunity arrived that changed everything. And I was ready for it because I had failed. The failures built me into someone capable of handling what success required. That is the point. Every single graduate sitting here today has the training, the talent, and the intelligence to succeed in this world. The question I want to leave with you is simpler and harder than any exam question you have ever faced. Do you have the courage to fail? Say it again with me in your head. If you are not failing, you are not trying hard enough. To build something you have never had, you must do something you have never done. The version of you that plays it safe, that hedges every bet, that never goes all in, that version of you never builds anything worth remembering. No, I want to give you an image, a picture I want you to carry with you from today. Imagine you are at the very end of your life. You are lying there, looking up at the ceiling, and standing around you, all around you, are ghosts. No scary ghosts, not movie ghosts. These are the ghosts of everything you never did. The idea you had in 2027 that you were too afraid to act on. The business you sketched out on a napkin but never launched. The conversation you never had. The risk you calculated too carefully and then abandoned. The talent you buried under fear and comfort. These ghosts are standing around your bed, and they are not sad. They are not grieving. They are angry because they say to you, we came to you. We chose you specifically. You had everything needed to bring us to life. And now we are going to the grave together. That image stays with me. How many ghosts will be standing around your bed when your time comes? That is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to fuel you. It is meant to make the excuses feel small and make the risk feel necessary. I recently visited parts of the world, and what I saw reminded me again how much work there is to do. How many problems are still waiting for someone brave enough, creative enough, relentless enough to solve them. The poverty, the inequality, the broken systems, the communities that have been forgotten. The people who are still waiting for someone to show up and try. And when I look at this generation, when I look at you, I do not feel hopeless. I feel the opposite, because you have something we did not have. You have more information, more tools, more connection than any generation in history. What you do with that is entirely up to you. This world is not going to fix itself. It is waiting on you. I'm not here to tell you what course to choose or which problem to tackle. Some of you are scientists. Some of you are artists. Some of you will build companies. Some of you will write laws. Some of you will raise remarkable children. Some of you have money as your resource. Some of you have time. Some of you have patience that moves mountains. Some of you have a kindness that opens doors nothing else can open. The question is not what you have. The question, the only question is, what are you going to do with what you have? Because the gift is not the point. The gift is just the starting material, what you build with it. That is the whole story. Here's my final thought. And I want you to hold this one carefully. Sometimes failure is not the enemy of your path. Sometimes failure is your path. It is the thing that redirects you, recalibrates you, introduces you to a version of yourself you would never have met if everything had gone smoothly. My own life never moved in a straight line. Nothing about it was predictable or planned. I was rejected everywhere. I applied my early ideas, failed. My first business lost money. There were years where I had no idea whether I was going in the right direction. And then, one ordinary day, I remember it clearly. In the middle of that uncertain, messy, humbling stretch of life, something shifted. A person said something to me, an unexpected moment. And in that moment, something crystallized. Directly came clear as day. I am convinced that moment would not have found me if the failures had not first broken me open. The years that followed, the things I built, the people I reached, the problems I got to work on, none of it would have been possible if the path had been smooth and safe from the beginning. The struggle was not the obstacle to the story. The struggle was a story. So today, on this day that marks the end of one chapter and the very first page of the next, I want you to leave here with one thing locked into your chest. Taking risks is not just about chasing opportunity. It is about knowing yourself, knowing what you understand, and being honest about what you don't. It is about staying open. Open to ideas that challenge you, open to feedback that stings, open to paths that don't look like paths yet. The chances you take, the people you choose to love, the causes you decide are worth your energy. The faith you carry into the rooms where nothing is guaranteed, that is what will define you. Know your grades, know your title, know what you accumulated, how you live, what you are willing to risk, what you were brave enough to try. Never let discouragement win. Never let fear make the big decisions. Never hold back when something matters. Give everything, your time, your talent, your focus, your belief. And when you fall, because you will fall more than once, in more than one way, remember what I told you today. Don't fall back.